Hello everybody, Brian Good here. It's been a while since we've had a chance to do a storm talk, so I thought I'd update you guys on the latest on how things are progressing here for the rest of this week. First off, our severe weather outlook as we head into the short term. A little blurry again. Okay, now I'm back. Camera's been sitting there a while. It's got some dust on it. Alright, we do have thunderstorms, general thunderstorms in our zone. That's the light green, nothing severe noted. As far as organized severe, keep in mind these outlooks are for organized activity. Tomorrow, we're in the marginal risk for severe weather, and I think that certainly does fit, and I'll explain why in a second. And then as we head into Thursday, we're in the clear from all the thunderstorm action. Dew points, the biggest killer again when it comes to the idea of the heat and humidity combination. Mid-70s, that is just flat out oppressive, and you feel it smacks you in the face, you know, and even at night. You can't breathe at night, and I have asthma, and I'm telling you, it's not good for asthmatics. You just want to stay inside, stay close to AC, because you just can't get enough movement in the lungs with so much moisture air like that. So the heat index, a big factor again. But here's what's about to happen. In the next 24 hours, we're going to have a front that's going to move through, and it's going to wipe away the deepest part of the moisture. And I notice we still got some green here on Thursday, so it's not going to be completely wiped out, but it is going to be severely reduced as the front moves through tomorrow. Now, usually when we see that happen, there's going to be a give and take, and that give and take is going to be the thunderstorms that will develop ahead of such a push. Now, here's what's happening today. Today, these are mainly what we call pulse thunderstorms that are fired up. We've got a few cumulus clouds developing these. Got one thunderstorm right now. In fact, we turn on the sensitive radar. It's located right over Prospect. Nice little downpour that's popped up there, tracking toward I-71. Most of this will be very isolated, though, this afternoon and evening. And based on the latest analysis, is basically right across this area that has the better chance to see some pop-ups here. Some of those locally strong. I wouldn't rule out a warning or two. Can't rule it out with as much heat and humidity at play, but most of them will be sub-severe and mainly just heavy rain producers and lots of lightning. Models show that fading away later tonight. Tomorrow, though, by midday and afternoon, we'll get the push of the front moving in. We're going to heat things up. Quite a bit of heat energy, in fact, built up ahead of the system. Thunderstorms develop. That will send a couple of waves through here all the way through the evening time frame for Wednesday. And then by midnight and thereafter, we're going to see that drier air, not dry completely, but drier air move its way in for Thursday. And Thursday will feel better, but still quite warm even for that time period. The reason why we're not talking about a major outbreak of severe weather is because there's not a lot of wind energy. The amount of forcing along this front is sad, really. It's real weak. So that's our saving grace to prevent us from severe weather being more widespread and more robust. So that's good, but doesn't mean you can't have severe weather, because you can also get in other ways. In other ways would be the heat energy, and with the amount of moisture we have in the air combined with strong heating early today, the capes are showing up. The amount of instability pretty good here across Indiana and central Kentucky for Wednesday afternoon, and the GFS, that was the NAM, GFS even more so, showing quite a bit of heat energy being built up. So these thunderstorms have very much a pulse nature to them. They may not be able to last very long, more than maybe a county or two when they'll begin to weaken, but when they mature, they could very well put down some cases of some hail and some very strong gusty winds and very heavy rain, and can produce a warning because of that. So that's the reason why we got to be alert for the potential for a few warnings, because of the heat energy involved, not so much the wind shear. Notice the wind arrows, though, out of the north aloft. So there is some directional shear to talk about, and the EHI index is somewhat elevated, especially in Indiana down into central Kentucky here. This only means that a few of these could rotate. This is not a high tornado setup, so I don't want red flags to raise up thinking we're going to have a lot of tornadoes coming through. This is just this indicator that that there is some directional shear to work with, but even just as we saw with the speed shear, it's not off the charts. That's good. Here are the dew points and the lifted indices. It's hard to see the lifted indices, about -8 to -9 just to the west, but quite a bit of moisture. I mean, the moisture is not going to change between now and tomorrow, so lots of humidity at play. That's why we got to watch for these tropical downpours. And yes, even some more flash flood warnings could be issued if more than one thunderstorm hits your community at a time. Although we've had a chance to dry out some, we still got to watch out for those heavy downpours. So we'll get some relief as we head into tomorrow night and early Thursday. We'll clear the air out somewhat over the weekend. Still going to be relatively hot, though, near 90 through the weekend. Although the GFS, and now the Canadian coming on board with this as well in the latest run, indicating several troughs trying to dig in here, a few fronts, even one deeper one that may come in the end of the first week of August. And if that were to be the case, we may very well score finally some highs in the 70s without clouds, with sunshine. That is still a possibility. I'm going to evaluate the euro when it comes in, let you know if we add that to the earliest alert outlook on the 14-day, or not today, beginning on the news this evening. But at least we're seeing better chances that is possible, and we'll give you our confidence meter on that coming up tonight as well. So August does appear to be a cooler than normal month based on the earliest data. Question is it going to be wetter than normal? And we'll have to wait and see how these fronts play out with this. But we may be in better shape than originally thought when it comes to the wetness of August. We'll see how that plays out. All right, guys, that's how it stands right now. And I'll have much more today. I'll see you at 5:30 and 7:30 with the lovely Ms. Donji.